Hello and welcome to Blaugrana Everything News Roundup, a quick summary of the main events that have happened in the world of FC Barcelona. In today's roundup, we'll be talking about Lamine Yamal and his brilliance, Thiago Alcantara and his possible future with Barca after his retirement. We'll then give some brief injury updates and get into some transfer news doing the rounds with regards to Clement Lenglet, Oriol, Romeuu and Lamine Camara. So before we go any further, some housekeeping. Hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment, okay? Alright, let's talk about Lamine Yamal. What a performance and what a talent he is. As fans, we often use terminology like clutch player or clutch play, and honestly, for a 16-year-old, I don't think you can get more clutch than what we saw from Lamine Yamal last night against France without having the name Pele. Coming into this game, it was the last possible chance for Yamal to claim the record of youngest scorer at the Euros ever. Something that Mbappe, Henry, Van Basten, Zidane, Cruyff, name them all, something that they couldn't do and something that looked a bridge too far for Lamine, especially after France opened the scoring after just 8 minutes. So leave it to Yamal to take the game by the scruff of the neck and beat one of the best goalkeepers with a wonder strike from way outside of the box, or with players like Rabiot, Tchouaméni, Saliba and Kante just, a few feet away from him, just standing like, front row seat to all the action. A magical moment, honestly, but for me, the thing about this all that has me in awe and perplexed is the person that is Lamine Yamal, because prior to the game, he posted this picture on his Instagram, okay? Caption which says, "Move in silence, only speak when it's time to say checkmate." And he posted that in direct response to Adrien Rabiot, who said if Lamine wants to play in the final, he will have to do more things than he has done so far. Basically, Rabiot was out here saying playing in a final, it's not child's play, and he's going to struggle. Well, unfortunately for Rabiot, Yamal took that personal, and to top that off, post-match, Yamal was asked about his big moment. He started out his statement by saying, "I am very happy to be in the final." Notice how he's not even talking about Adrien Rabiot. "I am very happy to be in the final. The goal came in a difficult moment where I got the ball, I took the shot, and I didn't think it went in. And now I ask to win the final." Once again, he's just out here focused on the final. And to all of that, he also adds, "I just wanted to celebrate my birthday in Germany, so I'm very happy." Again, it's just he's out here thinking about the final. Honestly, I could go on and on talking about that moment, but this would just become a Lamine Yamal video, and right now I'm trying my best to hold off on those because this could easily end up becoming the Lamine Yamal Everything channel. So we must move on from one prodigious La Masia talent with a budding career to another who has come to the end of his and who makes me feel a little bit old, to be quite honest. That's right, we're talking about Thiago Alcantara. Now, following Thiago's announcement of his retirement, which happened just over the weekend, Hansi Flick has been reportedly attempting to convince Thiago to join his coaching staff, and the former midfielder is apparently very much inclined towards making a comeback, pending his final green light, of course. He is apparently attracted by this possibility of coming and joining Barcelona's coaching staff. Of course, there are all those rumors talking about he could be a language barrier kind of coach, but I don't really think that's going to be the case. And just look, generally, my thoughts on this is I'm all for it. He might prove to be a useful bridge, if you ask me, and a great character to have in the dressing room, because for us Koolers in particular, Thiago is very much the one that's got away. So bringing him back into the fray would be just wonderful, All those things they say about Sergio Roberto, what he could be to this team, that big brother figure, all of that. Thiago Alcantara can definitely be all of that, whilst also being, one of those guys who the kids look up to, because he was definitely one of those players who had that great footballing mind. And I think taking him on is going to prove to be good for Barcelona because he could become part of the next generation of great coaches. I mean, the dude's worked with coaches like Pep, Ancelotti, Flick, and Klopp. So I say bring him on board. What's the worst that could happen? Okay, so away from coaching staff for a second, there are some negative and positive developments with regards to injuries within the squad, which I just wanted to have, a quick rundown, just to talk about those briefly. Pedri is going to be first, and unfortunately for him, after suffering assault at the hands of Toni Kroos over the weekend, the last significant thing Toni Kroos has done in his career apparently is to injure Pedri, and he is expected to be out for at least 4 weeks. So, no Pedri until maybe start of September is when he'll be returning. So he's definitely out of preseason. He will also be joined in the injury treatment room by Ronald Araujo, as he is also one other player that has suffered from this FIFA injury virus that has once again beset Barca. And with Araujo, it's expected he could be out for even longer. 6 to 8 weeks is the official word. Yes, 6 to 8 weeks, not 68 weeks. All right. Shout out to the Penguins of Madagascar. Gavi is, of course, where we can get into some positive news because he's recovering as planned, but it's still, again, about 2 months before he can be expected to make a full return and, just to go back to being Gavi with the guys. Alejandro Balde, on the other hand, it seems he is ready to start preseason with Barca. Speaking of which, preseason and all that stuff for Barca, we'll also at some point need to talk about how Kubarsi and Fermin heading to the Olympics, on top of all of these injuries, means there's going to be quite a few of some spots up for grabs in Barcelona's first team. Because, with Pedri out, with Araujo out, with Gavi still out, there is some hope to be had. And, like I said, Kubarsi and Fermin also out. And one person who it seems is keen on one of those spots that are up for grabs, and who we have to talk about next, sadly, is Clement Lenglet. So, Bologna are apparently interested in Clement Lenglet. However, the problem is, as it always is with Clement Lenglet, those wages, which are making the deal very complicated. The only way would be for him, of course, to lower his wages. The only way, though, that he could keep his wages as they are would be going to Saudi Arabia. There have apparently been offers for him, but it's reported that he wants to remain in Europe. So my thoughts, I think please Lenglet, you've milked Barca enough. Okay, nobody wants you around. And Bologna will be playing Champions League football. So, you have Champions League. Plus it's Italy, bro. That's like paradise for white people. Just go. Someone who is probably going to just go, though, is Oriol Romeuu. He could be headed back to Girona. Girona is very much interested in Oriol Romeuu. That's what I'm saying. However, they're only looking to bring him back on a free, as they do not want to pay any fee for him to return. My thoughts on that, as much as it's bad business for Barca, not getting any money, I say just let him go. He was a world beater in Girona's midfield, so with Aleix Garcia leaving, just let Romeuu go back to his new home. Yeah? Let him do what he do. Finally, we will wrap up by ending the way we started, talking about Lamine. But this time it's Lamine Camara and not Yamal. Lamine Camara is a winger who plays for Metz in Liga and is seen as a low-cost option at Barca, who would like to sign him despite going all out for Nico Williams. As is usually the case, we are reliably informed that Camara would be delighted to join Barca. My thoughts, again, this feels a lot like the Philogen rumors that we heard, because how much do Barca really want to sign this kid? Also, is he meant to be the plan B if Nico falls through? It's, again, just giving me bad vibes, like Barca don't have a concrete recruitment plan, because it's yet another player in yet another phase of his career who is envisioned to play the exact same role as Nico, Philogen, or Diaz. And once again, throw in Lamine Camara, and all four of these dudes are in different phases of their careers and kind of have differentish aspects to their game. Anywho, that is that for this episode of the Roundup. Let me know your thoughts on Lamine Yamal's virtuoso display and also on the Thiago Alcantara news in particular. Otherwise, I thank you all for tuning in. Do have a great day and Forza Barca.